Welcome back. It's Dr. Darrell. Let's get to the Inner Voice platform. When you get to this page and you get your link, you're going to see your name and the date and time of the scan. I already went over the classic tones and the pulse tones and what the difference are. I want to go over the layout here. The top notes are going to be the notes that you will click on if you decide you want to deal with something very specific. You go down and find the corresponding note to what you want to work on. If it were this one, it would be D sharp. You would simply click it. But first choose 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, and then click on that particular note. The sidebars here. These sidebars allow you to change the experience. The left side is the music that's playing from this area here. This music is just calm sound music so that you don't have to listen to the tone or the frequency that's correcting your emotional state. The right side is the volume of the frequency that's correcting your emotional state. You can turn this down and turn this up if you want. So I'm going to turn this all the way down and I'm going to turn this all the way up and I'm just going to play it for a second. Most people don't want to hear that. It's harsh tone, harsh to the brain, and most people can't deal with it. So there is a mix going on here. This is higher, this is lower. Your eardrums need to hear the frequency underneath. If you turn this all the way up and you turn the frequency all the way down, you're not helping yourself. Your brain has to hear that frequency, even if it's not the predominant sound. The information necessary to balance out your emotional state, as well as helping the physical, is all wrapped up in the pulse and frequency coming from this side right here. This is really where all of the work is done. When you click here, this changes the beat of the music. So some people might like constant, some people might like AO1111. These are various things that you can click around and play with in order to change the experience. Click around and see. Here, you have different sounds that are playing in the background. This is the music that's playing over your frequency. Now, when you get to this side here, this changes the pulsing and some of the nuances of the frequency that's balancing out your body. So again, click on these pulses, these numbers that represent pulses. And this particular one up top represents what is displayed inside of here. So let's just take a quick look at that. The experience changes for the middle. And if you notice, the color also changes depending on where in the pulse cycle this is. For those of you who are using color therapy, really this won't matter if you're using the eyeglasses. If you're not and you want to participate in it, you don't have to, but you can look at the color that's being displayed there. The brain has to reconcile the frequency of those colors so it will give your system an added boost. All of this is just aesthetics. If switching things around will allow you to listen to your tones better, listen to your frequencies better, have at it, play with all of this. Find the mix that's right for you. But if you're like me, choose 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and click pulse cycle, put on your headset, and sit back and enjoy. How can you tell if you're getting just a little bit better? Here's a tip. When you're looking at all 12 notes and what's out of balance, you're going to know that you're getting better or maybe backsliding when one or two notes is a far numerical value from the rest. So when I get my scan, the first thing I do is I look at my highest note. In this case, the highest note was 16.9. And then I look and see what is my second highest note. And it looks like the second highest note is 10.3. Well, what's the third highest note? 9.8. So let's look at the difference between these three. 16.9, 10.3, 9.8. The numerical value there is pretty extreme. So while 10.3 and 9.8 might be my second and third highest frequency, in the scale of frequencies here, there's a big difference between that and 16.9. There's a big jump to 16.9. There's not a big jump from 10.3 or a big dip from 10.3 to 9.8, but there's a huge dip from 16.9 to 10.3. Now, all of these are relative to whatever the base number is. So theoretically, your highest number could have been 40. And if the second highest was 35 and the third highest was 31, well, now we're not talking about a big jump. In this case, we are talking about a big jump. So if I looked at this scan, I would say that note A is one that is really out of balance. And when I look at the rest of the numerical values from here, 10.3, 9.8, 8.7, it's going down at a decent rate. I would say if I needed to work on something, 16.9 so far is the most that's out of balance. But then let's look at the lowest number. The lowest number here is 1.5. Now, what's the second lowest? It looks like it's 2.5, and then 2.6, and then 3.9 or 3.1, 2.5, 4.1. When you're looking at these, they don't seem to change as high. There don't seem to be huge discrepancies there. But this 16.9 in this numerical base stands out. Now, again, this is for those of you who want to analyze it to this point. This is not necessary. All you really need to do is click on your harmonics and balance yourself. But for those of you who want to look at it a little bit more deeply, when you see your numbers lining up close to one another, that's how you can tell that you're getting better overall. And when you're having a bad day, you're probably going to see huge jumps or dips. When you see that, play your harmonics and bring your body back into balance. This really is not a difficult thing. If you have your own AL scanning system, scan every day. If you don't, scan with whatever your practitioner or whatever your plan is. If you're utilizing the sound portal, whatever your availability is for that, get as many scans as you can and then listen to your balancing harmonics. And my suggestion is listen to some sort of sound therapy in between that in order to keep your body balanced. Daryl Roberts from House Wellness Center, Charlotte, North Carolina. Visit my website, www.drdarylwellness.com for more information. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.